Hey man, this is a response to your video that talked about your first trip or whatever, and you say you're writing it for your employer, and you went to a Phish show and all this. Dude, I got a couple problems with some stuff you said in your video. Now that's great. You went to your first Phish show and you lost your Phish virginity, and you uh, ate mushrooms for the first time. You know, congratulations. Uh, First of all, you're writing that to your employer. I think that's great. You think that value, honesty is all great, but trust me, man, your employer is not going to be impressed if he were to see this video. I'm sure he'll take it down when you wise up a little bit, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. That's not the point I'm getting at. You said in your video that the reason why when you were tripping that you thought you were dead and that you were grateful for it and that everybody must feel that way when they're tripping and that's why the Grateful Dead must have made that their name. Okay, you're so wrong about that. The Grateful Dead is not all about tripping. Okay, they didn't make their name based around some feeling they had when they got psychedelic. Second of all, you only tripped once, man. It's a different experience every time, and I've never felt like I was dead when I was tripping necessarily. I mean, uh, I may have been scared. Like some of the first trips, I might have been scared that I might have been dead. But or could have died. That's because I was not used to it yet, and it can cause anxiety before you learn. I've tripped so many times since then. I'm not trying to brag, but I've eaten half sheets of L. I've eaten, over, close to half, quarter ounces of mushrooms, usually a dose I'll take. I mean, I've had mescaline, plenty of other drugs. And this is my point. Let me get back to the point about, I'm not going to edit this video, so I'm going to be jumping back and forth. The Grateful Dead, their primary thrust was always about the music, not the drugs, and Phish. The drugs are definitely part of the scene. You can't get around that, but it's only something to sharpen or stimulate. I think the whole experience, and there's people there that are just there for the drugs, a small percentage, and there's people there that are just there for the music, and most people are there for the music and the drugs a little bit, both of them, because at least drinking or smoking weed or something, but probably getting psychedelic, and that's fine, I think, because I think it's a totally cool some of the coolest things when you get that many people together and they're all psychedelic and they're all on the same page and we're all partying. It's just like the biggest party you can have in America at the time. I mean, a festival like 80,000 people in Limestone, Maine, and that was a show, buddy. Fucking, your DC show is probably cool and all, but they probably played two sets and that was your Phish experience. That blew your mind, and I understand that. It's the first perfect place for you to trip for the first time. Um, but when you said that you knew why the Grateful Dead made their name because of that, that just totally rubbed me the wrong way, dude. You're a custy, man. You're wrong. The Grateful Dead, from what I've heard, it's a Tibetan story. It's from and it has to do with a man who paid a ghost's debt because the ghost could not do it, obviously, because he's dead. And in this kind gesture, he pays the ghost's debt, and so the ghost can sort of have some sort of peace and not be tied up with that bull crap. And then later on, being the Grateful Dead that he saved the man's life or something like that. And that is more where it came from. And they were called many things before they were the Dead, or they had all their final members and got Pigpen. Got added Bobby finally at the end, and Mickey Hart, Kreutzmann, and all they were in original. Pigpen was one of the original members in the beginning, and now you saw what happened to him in the 70s. They were like, hey, we're going rock and roll. You can come play rock and roll drums, but Bobby's doing all the singing, so. But everybody who's ahead, I think, will look at my video, or at least if they do read it, they can at least say, hey, man, come on, man, you're quit trying to rep the Phish scene, man. If you've never even been on, I don't know. I'm not gonna say you've not even been on tour, man. You ate mushrooms once, dude, and you're like, I don't think it's something that you can't do all the time. Yeah, it's not, but you could do it more than once in your life before you start to try to give. You know, people are gonna look at your video and they're gonna think that that's a representation of tripping, you know, and Phish and the whole experience, man. And it's so much more than that. They're so Phish shows. You had it right when you said it's like a carnival, though. It's like a festival type carnival type experience. With so many people, and the rules are all different. It's just not reality. It's so much fun. Festivals, and especially Phish, they do a good job with it. But there's other great bands out there, bro. It's not just. Oh, here's the other thing you said that pissed me off. That the Grateful Dead, that Phish picked up where the Grateful Dead left off. Man, what are you talking about? First of all, the Grateful Dead are still going strong, man. In fact, a buddy of mine got me a Phish ticket. And that's why I'm going to a Phish show. Those tickets were a pain in the ass to get. I couldn't even go to Hampton, and that's in my own fucking next door to my hometown. I couldn't get to Hampton fucking Coliseum because all the tickets were sold out like that. And they all went to ticketsnow.com and sold for $300 to $1,000 a piece. Fucking criminal, man. Fuck Ticketmaster, by the way. Sorry, or screw Ticketmaster. String Cheese Incidents getting back together for Rothbury, the Dead. Okay, everybody but Jerry. But Warren Haynes is going to be, from the Allman Brothers, is going to be doing Jerry's part. And I think all the fans need to embrace Warren, man, and the energy. And, let's fucking have, it's going to be an awesome tour. There's been some guest appearances, I believe, already at some of their earlier shit. And as far as Phish goes, I'm excited about my Phish show, but I'm way more excited about Rothbury. And frankly, I'm glad Phish is not going to Rothbury because if they had been, I probably wouldn't have been able to get my ticket because they probably would have been sold out because of all the Phish kids that would have just came for Phish and the fucking all the Molly and everything, man. And by the way, I got nothing against Molly and candy flipping. I love to eat the L and the shrizzles and all that, and I definitely like it. By the way, yeah, when you said somebody lit a big nugget of weed and let it burn like incense and you could inhale it and smoke it that way, that is the most impractical, stupid way to smoke weed I've ever heard of, and it doesn't continue to burn the way incense does. It would have just went out, and he basically would have just been charring it with his lighter over and over again. That's bull. That looks cool, man, in here. You can even see it. Nice. It's a squid. It's not a mushroom. My ex-girlfriend made it for me. Everybody keeps trying to buy it off my neck. They're like, I want to buy that. I'm like, just like some of my old Grateful Dead stuff. Sometimes people try to buy my wings. They're like, you can't buy them, man, or you shouldn't buy them. They're supposed to be given to you. That's something like a custy like you wouldn't know. You don't know about it. Just so much, and that's cool. I've seen some of your God videos, and that's great. Bro, go to some more Phish shows, eat some more mushrooms, and then come and tell us about it. Or don't. Don't go online and talk about how there's all kinds of drugs at Phish shows, man. That's not it's not cool. You're like blowing up the spot almost, So there's more I wanted to say. You're overall, you think that you're a lot wiser than you are. You're obviously very young, and you just need to learn. You're young at heart or young in the mind. You're a pretty smart guy, I can tell, but you think you're a lot more knowledgeable than you are, and there's a difference between being intelligent and being wise or hip to something, and you are oblivious and naive to a lot. So, especially about the Grateful Dead, pick up where the Grateful Dead left off. That's a bunch of bullshit. Totally separate bands, separate entities. They're nothing. They're similar in some ways, but the Dead are still going strong, man. And the Phish started way back in the '80s.